California, California, here we go! California, California!
WTF, WTF!
Bon qui, je m'appelle Ross Tweedell from Cultaholic.com and welcome to all the WTF moments from the Raw reunion. And let me tell you something, you take John Cena and the Usos, you take Bray Wyatt attacking Mick Foley, you take Stone Cold's promo from the end of the show, and you take everything involving the 24/7 title out of last night's show, and that was one Ross Tweedell episode of WWE Raw. And let me tell you what I mean by that. I mean that was a pissin' fugly episode of WWE Raw, minus those bits. But hey, at least the old people get one over the young people with slightly less than what we normally see from this type of show. So let's take that and run with it and celebrate. Yeah. So we kick things off with John Cena, and something dawned on me about gigantic Jewel Jonty. And I quote, "But the thing I'm most proud of, the thing that makes me sleep at night through all that BS, I always showed up. I never left." When it comes down to Dwayne, the first time he got a taste of the bright lights of Hollywood, he was out here fast and I could say, "Rocky, don't go." That right there, that was the words of John Cena about The Rock in the build to WrestleMania 28. And let me tell you, with the power of hindsight, that's complete bollocks, isn't it? I mean, I've missed you, John, and the way you took down that numpty in that cafe in London, it was absolutely fantastic. But those words there prove that you are a bit of a dick, aren't you? We've come full circle, haven't we? And I just can't wait for someone like Adam Cole to cut the same promo on John Cena in a few years' time before he takes his undisputedly sexy head all the way to Hollywood himself. And then Nicholas, he will cut the same promo on Adam Cole, and it's the circle of liars and hypocrites. Could you imagine? Could you pissing imagine? And next up we have the Cultaholic rated signs in the arena in Tampa, Florida last night. And a big thank you goes out to Vincenzo Diglio and his little boy, and a man called Dan the Man for spreading the good name of Cultaholic throughout the WWE universe. Next time you go to a show, do what they did and not what I'm doing right now. Maggle, 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 maggle. So next up we have Michael Cole, who reckons John Cena has been synonymous with all things WWE for the past 15 years. As Michael clearly shows, he has the same relationship with large fixture Johnny as a lost child does with their father, who never came home, but that lost child, he still believes, he never gives up. Your dad's never coming home, son. What am I talking about? But what about the last year, Michael Cole? Since October last year, John Cena has only had 5 matches inside a WWE ring, as he's becoming as synonymous to WWE as I am to gyms. Wabadoo! 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 Yo, look like your mugshots. How was it getting arrested? A quick reminder, boys and girls, that WWE is a publicly traded company and the superstars are role models to the adults and the generations of tomorrow. Not when massive contest Jonathan's around, though. Zero bollocks are given. Dun 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 dun. Why did Rikishi come out to Scotty 2 Hottie / Grandmaster Sexy's theme, Kevin? You played the wrong one, man, you div. You need the one that goes. And then tea time. Oof, it's been a while. Shucky ducky quack quack, pass me a cigarette. And then Booker claims that one day the Usos will beat a record held by Harlem Heat. And as far as I can see, the only record Harlem Heat hold, that's easy to say, is a record 10-time WCW Tag Team Champions. Hang on a second. So by saying that, has Booker T just revealed that WCW is coming back? Is Eric Bischoff's brand new version of WWE SmackDown Live going to be rebranded WCW Nitro? Has Booker T just revealed all of these magical things? He hasn't, no, he's just talking bollocks. Tea time. Now, if mentioning Arn Anderson time and time again wasn't going to get Vince McMahon all hot and sweaty, then mentioning brand new AEW signee Tully Blanchard sure as hell will have had those grapefruits popping everywhere. because he's so angry. And aroused, apparently. So basically, what we learned last night, if we didn't know already, is that Booker T should not be allowed live on WWE TV with a live microphone. But then again, Seth Rollins, the face of WWE, who aren't in competition with AEW, reckons WWE will kill off AEW just like they have everybody else. But then again, WWE, they're not in competition with AEW, are they? And I'm really confused. But the one thing I do know is the only person in the world who will find Seth Rollins even remotely cool is Michael Cole. Can you just imagine? He's so tough, he's so sassy, he doesn't care what the teachers say. What a badass! He kicks ass and he takes names. He probably says that, yeah. No, nothing to see here. Just Santina Marella feeling up women against their will with his cobra. But he's very comfortable with you guys. I bet he bloody is, pal. Keep your hands to yourself, you dirty old man. Lillian Garcia is 52 years old. Lillian Garcia is 53 years old on August the 19th. I'm 27 on August the 2nd, and I, already at 26 years of age, look 45 years older than Lillian Garcia does. Tell us your secrets. So next up we have Christian, who reckons the Viking Raiders remind him of the Dudley Boys. And am I the only one who believes the Dudley Boys are completely different to the Viking Raiders in every single way imaginable? Now strap yourselves in, boys and girls, for some proper wrestling analysis, something, Billy Kay, I went to journalism for. Yeah. I reckon that in terms of power, in terms of technique, in terms of tag team tandem offense, the Viking Raiders blot right in the Dudley Boys' eyes, even Devon's lazy one. Get in the bin, you absolute numpty. So Eric Bischoff wants Mike and Maria Kanellis to come to SmackDown Live, and that's all I need to tell you right now that the future of SmackDown Live is absolutely buggered. Why the hell would you want Mr. Eric Bischoff, an emotionally abusive wife, and a wrestler who never wins wrestling matches? Tell me why. So if the Godfather brought the Ho train and told everyone to come aboard the Ho train, but the Ho train isn't there, and Charlie is, and Charlie's dancing, does that make Charlie a... Oh, is that what I'm... That can't be. Is that a WWE t-shirt that actually looks good? Is that a WWE t-shirt that actually has some form of design and not just text? 3 blocks of text right down the front. I don't know about you, but that sight there, it scares me. Creativity in WWE on merchandise. Run. The end is nigh, the end is nigh. Time to run away, the end is nigh, nigh. But Messrs Gallows, Anderson and Styles are now called the OC, which stands for the official, the original, the only club that matters. Now while you're probably sitting there at home going, oh my god, too sweet me bro, and all that kind of cool stuff, me, as a child who grew up during the noughties, the OC means one thing to me, and that's an American teen drama television series created by Josh Schwartz. I mean, I never watched it personally, but that's where my mind went. And anyway, what other clubs are there in WWE today? Gallows, Styles and Anderson, they were called The Club because they were the only club in WWE. Why did they need a rebrand? Massive lols at Carl Anderson, who was having a go at these WWE legends, rocking up for 1 week only, trying to take their spotlight when we didn't see Luke Gallows or Carl Anderson on any WWE show. It felt like for about 2 pissing years. See? Intergender wrestling does work. And of course, a massive well done to Kelly for becoming the first woman to hold the WWE 24/7 Championship, which in turn made her the first woman in WWE to hold a men's title since Jacqueline won the Cruiserweight belt all the way back in 2K04.
What she say? Say, shut up, Renee. What she say? Say, shut up, Renee.
Samoa Joe is unstoppable, Renee Young said. Yeah, until he does the wrestles in a wrestling match and then he loses, and that makes me sad. Every pissing time. Well, whoever wrote that nonsense for Seth Rollins on last night's Raw completely missed the point, didn't they? Now, of course, here we had a man who earlier this year took the sentiments of the watching fans who weren't seeing Brock Lesnar, who weren't seeing the Universal title on WWE shows every single week, put them in a ball, strapped them to his arse, and, you know, did good things with them. It all made perfect sense. He bemoaned Brock Lesnar not turning up for work. He bemoaned the Universal title not being on our screens. But last night that all changed. For the worse.
Because Brock Lesnar is now a big scary thing with little eyes and a big red head. He's notorious GLB, Godzilla looking bastard.
I'm going to say this again later on in this video, but as every single day passes and as every single day Seth Rollins speaks or Seth Rollins tweets, I dislike Seth Rollins that little bit more. And then we had Paul Heyman appear, and of course Paul Heyman, he spoke all kinds of sense. He said, Seth Rollins, you cannot moan about taking your Universal title by using Money in the Bank because you did the same, Seth Rollins, at WrestleMania 31. But then Seth Rollins had to open his mouth once again and make himself look like a humongous tit when he said, yeah, Paul, but it took Brock Lesnar 4 years to return the favour. And do you know why? He's a Seth Rollins wannabe, and I push my fingers into my eyes. Corey Taylor from the Slipknot is in Newcastle next year, and I really want him to appear on Straight to Hell. So tweet him and stuff if you want that to happen. But once again, last night on Raw, Seth Rollins completely missed the point. As we all know, Brock held the thing for 2 years. Seth Rollins was injured for bare time during that 4-year period, and then Seth Rollins, in 2018 especially, spent a lot of time in the mid-card. Why the hell is the person putting together Seth Rollins scripts for WWE Raw these days trying to make Seth Rollins look like the biggest numpty we've seen since Nazar Amore, the real one, arsehole. And then Seth claims that for the last 20 years, Paul Heyman has been billing Brock as the Beast and as the Conqueror. 20 years ago, Brock Lesnar, in terms of WWE's main roster, wasn't even a thing. 2002, Lesnar was Heyman's next big thing. 2014, after he beat the streak, that's when Heyman called Lesnar the Conqueror. Your timeline's all messed up, Seth. You sound and tweet and talk like an absolute bellend these days. You had the world at your feet at WrestleMania 35, but now as each day passes, I dislike you a little bit more, as I'm sure a lot of you do at home. Dear. Now this might be a bit harsh on my part, it's just my perspective, how I saw things in the landscape way back in the day, but people on that screen were called legends by Charlie Caruso, and on that screen there is Gillian Hall. I mean, she was great at being an unbearable arsehole. She was even better at singing the songs, but a legend? How are you, man? I love it when Kurt Angle says this, but did you know when Kurt Angle was general manager of Monday Night Raw, if people had a problem, we settled things in the ring. Unless, of course, you're Sasha Banks and Bayley. In a sea of Braun Strowman quite literally trying to murder Roman Reigns at the time, in a sea of men trying to do way worse things to other men, we had to send Sasha Banks and Bayley to counselling because they were women, I presume. That's the only reason, wasn't it? The lack of self-awareness every single time Kurt Angle says that is quite astonishing. They've got the wrong ginger guy. That's not Heath Slater, man. You cannot sacrifice Sami Zayn like this, man, WWE. His character still has plenty to offer. Heath's the joke you should be using in that segment there. Am I the only person here with a brain? Yeah, I am. And now it's time for this.
Wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank, wankety wank.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Wankety Wank, the section of WTF Moments where you at home tweet something to me that I have missed, and because I've missed it, I give you all the credit, because I'm wholesome and lovely. Thank you very much to Timothy Platey, who was pointed out if Jonathan Coachman were to dial it up, he'd ring the wrong bastard number. Somebody needs to tell Ric Flair this is not 1989, he is not NWA World Heavyweight Champion, and he does not need to be gigging himself every which way possible. Poor bloke. So as we saw just there, we just saw Ric Flair arriving to the arena in a limousine. But then, immediately, we saw Angelo Dawkins, who claimed he was in a room with Ric Flair, even though he couldn't have been. Then again, this is the same Angelo Dawkins who just told us he was blazed off his titties with Rob Van Dam, so much so he had to use eye drops because his eyes were so red and weedy. So maybe, just maybe, he was tripping balls and he was seeing things which would make that real? Everyone's cool, said Jerry Lawler while speaking about the legends who rocked up to last night's Raw reunion. That list of legends, of course, that included one Terrence, smaller Willie than Hulk, bigger Willie than Hulk. How does it go? I can't remember, but Hulk Hogan all the same. And I don't need to say anything more to show you that Jerry Lawler is wrong. Why does that Tron there say New Age Outlaws even though Billy Gunn wasn't invited to the party? And why the hell, when you've got Razor Ramon and Diesel out there, do you have Road Dogg leading the charge? Road Dogg's music, Road Dogg on a mic, Road Dogg everything.
What, he's the only one working full-time for WWE these days, Ross?
Who the hell was that? 2 weeks it lasted. 2 short weeks. 2 weeks of the OC being like like the OC they should be, but then last night they were running away from people they simply should not be running away from. If Styles and Gallows and Anderson in their roles as cocky heels don't think they can beat up the likes of X-Pac or Kevin Nash or Scott Hall or Road Dogg in 2019, what the hell are they doing here? WWE, in a nutshell, the past is always better than the present, and that's why we'll never move forwards. What's that? A star of yesterday putting over a star of today on WWE? What? The end is nigh, the end is nigh, time to run away, the end is nigh, nigh. So next up we have Natalya saying she's had a similar journey in WWE to Becky Lynch, which is just like me standing here and saying I've had a similar journey on YouTube, like one of the popular ones, like, you know, the KGB and the Pew Pew and the Watch Mojo Jojo and stuff like that. Imagine, right, you've got a massive monster like Braun Strowman, a physical specimen like Braun Strowman. You've got Raw Reunion, so people who don't watch Raw normally are tuning in to see the stars of yesteryear and live through nostalgia and all that good stuff. So then, to showcase this monster, this physical specimen, to people who don't see him every single week, you put him in a squash match. Squash match. Easy for me to say. Where he can't fully display the athleticism, we all know, because we see him every week. We all know he has. Instead, he was made to look like, kind of, the great Khali. Just big and lumbering and strong. Ooh. Strange booking there from WWE last night. It felt like a massive waste. And now let's pass over to Mark Henry for Mark Henry's thoughts on one Hulk Hogan. So last night we saw that Stone Cold Steve Austin can still hold a crowd in the palm of his hand like no other, but during that promo, Stone Cold Steve Austin claimed that last night's Raw was legit sellout, and I've got one thing to say to you, Steve. Top. That must not have been the bottom line Steve was saying, more like the small print at the bottom that nobody cares to read. And then we have the wholesome realization that Psycho Sid was booked to appear on last night's Raw, but true to form, Psycho Sid did not turn up. And I don't know about you, there's just something so beautiful about that. And that's all the WTF moments from Raw Reunion. It was fun in places, but awful in others. Bye. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments below. You can follow us on Twitter at Cultaholic. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. And if you enjoy what we do here at Cultaholic, you can play us to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Cultaholic. Hit subscribe and join us.